Hi, good evening. Good evening, Harshita. Good evening, Dipankar. Good evening, Ashutosh. Good evening, Shivani. Gokul, Aman. Good evening, all. Okay, let's wait for another 5 minutes. Good evening, Nadi, Simran. How you all guys are doing? I hope so. Everyone is in good state and all pumped up for today's session. Yeah, sure. You will get this PDF. You will find this PDF in the description. There's a link for it. Good evening, Ashish. Good evening, Shivani, Dipankar. Okay, just a minute, guys. Yes, good evening. So, shall we start day two of our React Bootcamp series? Good evening, Manshu. Okay, so let's start. So, just tell me how many of you have done yesterday's session practical at your home? Like, you guys went to your laptop and installed React in your system and created the application. How many of you have done that? Great. Only two of you. I need more answers. How many of you done those? Great, great, Navita. Great, Shivani. Good. So before moving forward, we have this notes for you guys. You can access these notes in the description link is there. It is all-fledged React notes for you. Whatever we will learn in this session, you can find notes regarding to it, and you can learn a little bit more about how stuff works and all. So the link to this document is there in the description. Please go ahead and check it out. Okay. Okay, that's great. After completion of this project, yes, you will be in a state that you can create React code. You will be understand React code, what it is React written, and you will also be able to make something out of it. Okay. So without getting not getting much late, let's start. It was a React Bootcamp. Let's open our VS Code. So yesterday we left at this stage. Okay. And I hope so that you guys have understood how to create a React application and how does it work. And React application doesn't goes to browser as it is. It first get transpiled into browser understandable JavaScript and then browser understanding. The browser shows you the values which were there, right? Okay. So today we will be learning about the one of the major thing of React that is called component. What is component? How it is used? And what is JSX also? Like lot of you have yesterday I also told you that this section, this H1 which you are seeing right now, is not actually HTML. It is a structure that is looking like HTML, functioning like HTML, but not HTML. Okay. So before moving forward, I'll just open notes or I'll get the notes section from you. Just make you understand what component actually mean. Mhm. NPX only working. Component is reusable code. Great, great, Dipankar. Yesterday I also mentioned, today I'm also saying that components are the reusable code, reusable piece of code which you can use as many times, multiple times, in whatever manner you want. Okay, let's just create a board and just so, so React provides us one thing called component. Okay, and what is this component is? Component is nothing but a piece of code that can be reused multiple times. Okay. Yesterday also I gave you an example of this thing, if you guys remember. And this app component is being reused 5 times in a row, and we are able to see what is there inside the app 5 times. See, one thing you guys have to remember that whichever component we will call here, right, we will use here, the whatever stuff inside this component will be replicated in your web page. Okay. For example, here we have H1. So in our system, in our web application, which we will run right now, let's just first run our application. We are in React Basic, or it was which one? React Wheat. Okay, let's move out of this. Let's just first close all these steps. We'll move to React Wheat and we will run. Okay, so I want to know from you guys what is the command for running a React application. Hello everyone. Okay, Zoom. Is it clear now? Like, is it visible? NPM start is not working for me. Before I was always using this only for 1.5, but now I can't. So it's npm error. I have updated the node version also. Like later in the session, can you just share the error which you are facing? We'll try to resolve it. Okay. So my screen is visible to all you guys, right? So I just want to know what is the command for running the application. Npm start, npm run dev. Great. Great, Navita. Great, Jitendra. If you have created your application with create React app, then it's npm start or npm run start. Whichever command is there in your package.json, just refer to it. For example, I'm using the wheat here, so it is dev for me. I will go for npm run dev. If you are using a React app which is created through React, create React app, then just go for the script which is written here, that is start. Okay. So since we are using React wheat here, so I will go for npm run dev and just see what happens. Okay, we can see we have an error here. Why? Okay. Hmm. Server failed to pass content written hello world. Okay. For wheat, the extension will be always JSX. app.jsx. Yeah, my import is also broken. See, okay, now we are fixed. So we can see our application. Okay, I'll just close this down. App.js. Yep, you are correct because of Expo. Yep, correct. So we can see we have used app component 5 times, and we can see 5 times our hello React from Beat is been printed out here, right? So we have been using this component, that is this app component, 5 times. So basically, component is nothing. It's a piece of code which you can use multiple times. Okay. And if I go for a little technical, then component is a piece of function which is returning some HTML-like structures. Okay. And those HTML-like structures is called JSX. It is not HTML exactly. It is a HTML similar structure. It is JSX. This H1 hello React from Vite is JSX. Why JSX? Because ultimately React code is converted into JavaScript and then presented to the website or the web browser. So behind the scenes, what actually is happening, it is being this H1 tag is being created via JavaScript. It is not native HTML. This HTML tag is being created via JavaScript. So how it is being created? It is something like this: document dot create element, and we have H1. So this H1, after being transpiled by Babel, it is being transpiled as this document.createElement.h1. So you can do this. React will not hamper you doing this, but if you will try to create all these elements via this method, it will be very long, very long. So React says, why to take so much tension? I'm here. I will help you out. So to overcome this problem, React said, we will provide you something called JSX. You can use HTML, but you can use those HTML tags as HTML form in the JavaScript functions also. Have you ever seen JavaScript returning an HTML tag in a native JavaScript code or native JavaScript function? But here, this is the thing which is being returning is JSX or JavaScript XML. Understood? React तो बोलता है Next.js use करके. Okay. See, Next.js is a framework based on React. Okay. React itself is a library. Yesterday also I told that React is a library. It's not a full-fledged framework. Frameworks have some rules to it which you have to follow. Frameworks have lot many stuffs which you need to make a full-fledged application. But in React, you need to install those things in your application. You need to install some packages to achieve those functionalities. Okay, that's why for if you are using this plain React, then you need to install some packages. For example, yesterday, I give an example of YouTube. In YouTube, we have multiple pages, home, or subscriptions, and everything. But since React gives you a functionality of single page application, to achieve that multi-page functionality, you need to install React Router. We need to do routing, and routing is not indigenously present in React itself. You need to install a package for it. Okay, exactly, like Spring Boot, or you can say Angular. Next.js is also a framework that is based on React. So similar frameworks like Next.js also are Gatsby, Remix. You can find those things on React's official documentation. If we go to React's official documentation, then this is react.dev, and you will see installation. Here you can see the frameworks which are based on React are Next.js, Remix, Gatsby. Okay. Okay. Let's move back to our component stuff. So in our React structure, you can see two files, that is main.js or app.js. It can be index.js or app.js. Okay, let's move to the React basic one. A lot of you guys have confusion for JSX. Just close it. cd. Yeah, let's see. And I will go for anything. Start. Hmm. So here also we have used this thing. We will use app. Okay, so folks. So in a React application, this index.js will bundle up all the components. Okay, you can bundle up it here, or what we use that what we say that okay, not bundling up all the components in this file. We'll use a single file called app.js, and whatever components you will further use in your application can be bundled up here. Okay, bundle up means like you can use, for example, if I want to have multiple HTML elements in here. Okay, I can go for h1 and I will say hello. And then if I want another h1 in it, will I write h1 like that only? Will I? No, well, not that. I can't write h1 like that again. It will throw me an error. And it will say adjacent JSX element must be wrapped in enclosing tag. Okay. So remember one important concept. A component can only return one parent. A component can only return one parent. Okay. You can't return multiple parents from a component. So to overcome this, what we do, we wrap all the stuffs which we want to display in a single parent. Single parent can be anything. It can be div. Mostly in HTML, we use div to wrap, right? So what we will do, we will use div, and then we will can wrap whatever things we want. For example, I want an h1. So I will go for h1. I will say hello world. And if I say again, I want something else to be there in my web application, I can go for p and say welcome to React Bootcamp. So now say what would be there. We'll have our h1 tag hello world, and we'll have welcome React to React Bootcamp. Okay. So component is nothing, a function returning JSX. Okay. And we can use it multiple times. Why do we use them? It is up to you. It is up to you to how you want to return the parent tag, parent element. There is one more concept in React. React offers it that. For example, if you don't want to use div, okay, if you're making a big application and you in your application you don't want to show that extra div every time. Okay, for if you are using multiple components, if you're using component one, here we have, for example, here we have app, and if you if you make two three components like app and home and something, and for every time you are bundling it in a div, right? So if you don't want that div, then React offers us one thing that we call React fragments, and this is React fragment without any name. If you do go for this brackets, this will call React fragments. Okay, or what you can do is that React dot fragment. You can use this also, React dot fragment, or if you don't want to use this such a long name, you can just only go blank. You can just go with blank. This will absolutely work. There's no error. And what if we go for inspect, we'll know in our body we'll have a app root, and there is no div, only a h1 and a p. And now if I go for again write a div here, you can see now a div is there. Is it visible? Let me know if it is visible. Is it visible now? See? So, so if we remove this div from here, it will be a React fragment. And now we can see the div is not there. That extra div was there is not here now. So React offers this React fragment to bundle up your elements in a component. If you don't want to use that extra div, you guys getting it? So this is a React component, a function. It is being exported, a function, and it is returning a JSX element. This entire thing is being bundled up using React fragment, or you can use whatever element you want to bundle it up. Okay, understood. So let's start making it a little good. Okay, so in industry level and production levels, you don't make components as it is here. You make directories for it to make the code easier to read to for yourself and to others who will read your code. So in this also, we will make a folder. We'll make a folder called components, and we will have our components here itself. For example, let's make a for an application. What is the first thing we see in an application? What the first thing what we see? A header. So let's make a header first. We'll go for header.js. Okay. Now you can make a component in both the ways. Here you can see it is being made using traditional function method, function app, and then this is exported. You can also make it using arrow functions. Okay. So we have header as an arrow function and it has been and it has been exported. And for you guys, I'll suggest you to install one extension that is ES7. This extension in your VS Code, it will help you a lot skipping the boilerplate codes. Okay. If you guys are using VS Code, then go and install this the ES7 React Redux GraphQL React Native snippets. Okay. With this, we will be able to make component a much faster. So we have this shortcut called RAFCE, that is React a that is React arrow function export. So this is your component is ready with the name. Whatever you have given here, it will be created with that name only. And now we can use it in a main application. Okay. So I will remove this and I will import my header component here. Same header. Sorry, header. Is it still not visible? Like, yes, RAFCE, React arrow function component export, the full form of it. First of all, just tell me, is my screen visible? Like, is everything nice and clear? I can see a lot of you is being showing visible. Oh, good. So we have made our header component. So now let's make it a little bit good looking. So in a header, what all we can have? We can have let's just design it first. We have a lot of things such as home, contact, about, right? So let's make it. And we also have some profile section saying displaying our name also, right? So in header, I would say welcome to React Bootcamp, and here is a name will be. Let's give it a name, Alex. Right. So if we go and see, we have our welcome to React Bootcamp, Alex. And now, if you want to implicate CSS in it, this is looking very, very, very naive, right? A simple div tag with the text welcome to React Bootcamp, Alex. Now, you are making a website, so you need be using CSS, right? So how to implicate CSS in your component? Okay. So here in the component folder only, I will make another file called header.css. See, in whenever we will go to a company or whenever we will see a React code, you will not find individual component CSS in this app.css file. Okay. For specific component, you will have a specific CSS file linked to it. Everything will not be wrapped around the same single CSS file. It makes code much easier to read. It makes code much easier to bifurcate between them. If all the CSS, everything will be present here, it will look very, 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 very bad. Okay. Right now, we are not using this app.css. Let's clean it. And for header.css, now, if you will, okay, let's for make header.css. Now in JSX, before moving to CSS, now in JSX, you must be wondering, in normal HTML, we used to pass class, right? While if we go for CSS, we used to pass class and IDs, right? And how we will pass it here in JSX? If we go for write class and normal class, and if I go and give something JKL, I'll show one console error. Can you see this? Invalid DOM property class. Did you mean class name? As I earlier said you that this thing, this HTML looking like structure is not HTML, it is JSX. It is JavaScript. And in JavaScript, class is a keyword. Okay. And in JavaScript, class is a keyword. So now you must be wondering like how, then how will we give class name, class to a HTML tag? So here React only says that did you mean class name? So rather than giving class, we will use class name. Since class is a reserved keyword by JavaScript, we can't use class here. So instead of that, we have to use class name. Okay. And for this, we'll say header. The header class name has been given. Now, let's just give some styling properties to this class or this header. So before moving it, so now we have our CSS file header, and let's just give some height to it. We'll give height of 20 pixels. We'll give a background color, maybe gray. Okay. And we will also give text align center. Now, what do you guys think? Will it be applied? No, it is not applied yet. See, because we have not binded our CSS file to our JS JavaScript file yet. So to bind our CSS file to our JavaScript file, we'll use import function, import, and with this double quotes, we'll go with header.css. Once you import this, see, uh, header is looking kind of good, better than before. So to import your CSS files, you need to use import function and the path of your CSS file. After that, it's normal like HTML CSS only. You give your class name, you make stuff out of it, and boom, it will be visible on your web page. So let's give it a little bit more. Let's give it 50 pixels. It will look good. And to make it center, well, I'll go for align item center and justify content center. And it will have a bit of enabled. Will that work? Why is it not working? Okay. We need to wrap this around. Let's wrap it around in H3. It is. Welcome to React Bootcamp, Alex. So we are connected. Something is not working. Can you guys help me out in this? Why this thing is not working properly? Why it is not being centered and being centered? Yes, exactly. Display flex. Good. 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 Display flex was missing for in that code. Thank you for that. So now I guess now it is looking a bit more beautiful than before. It is not the plain simple text out there, right? So I hope that you guys have understood this much, how we make a component and how we link a CSS file to it. Are we guys clear? Are we guys clear? Just give a thumbs up those who says we are clear. Good. So now we know how to integrate a CSS file to a component and how we can use our component in our main app component. This is the way of calling it. Okay, this is the way of calling it in a JavaScript JSX manner. Otherwise, if you see, then this is the normal function only. And if you go here, the of not giving this, and if I go simply header, and if I call it, so after all, that is a JavaScript function, right? Header.js is a JavaScript function. So if you go and simply call it here, it will work the same. No difference. Okay, no difference. After all, it is a JavaScript function, right? But in React, it offers us write it in a way of JSX. So we can write it like this, which makes it much easier to understand. Okay. Now, let's say let's say we make a login page here and different users will log in. So different user names will be shown up here. Okay. Right now we have hard coded this Alex, but let's assume that we want this header for some other name. Okay. In an application, in our application, where there can be multiple users. Okay. And multiple names out can be there for this application. So is that like every time we will go to a code and change your name for it? Right? Is that we like that? No, it will be not like that. Okay, it will be not like that. So for that, we will be using something called props. Now, what are props? I have given you just yesterday that props are nothing but properties. Sim and a function, not here. It will be not here. It will be here. Props are nothing but properties. In a function, when you can pass parameters, you can pass arguments, right? You can pass some properties, right? So props are those are properties only. Okay, this is the short form for properties. And it is not mandatory that you use props only. You can use anything. You can say parameters. Okay. Now, how to use it? How to use it? Now, I want this Alex to be different for every other every time you use it in a different way. Now, let's give an example. Let's take an example. If I want to use this header with two different names, okay, we'll wrap this around the fragment. So I want to use this header, but with two different names. Right now, I can see Alex and Alex there. See, so for that, we will use something called props. How props? I'll pass from this prop. I will say I want from this prop, I want name out of it. Okay. So to use it, just like in JavaScript, we use curly braces to mention something. Here also, we'll use curly braces. We'll say parameters. And in parameters object, okay, this parameters will come something like this. It will have this parameters will be something like this. We'll have some properties here like name. We can have okay, or we can have age, whatever we want from our component that need to be passed. We can have something like this. Okay. So here also in parameters, I want to access parameters dot name. I will give name. Now here we have passed like we want this parameters dot name, but still in our application, it is it is not visible. See, parameters not name is not something is missing out here. Previously it was Alex, but now it is missing. So here we have mentioned that we will be using parameters dot name, like we will be using names for our parameters, but we have not passed any parameter here or any props here, right? So to pass the props, we'll simply say name, whatever you want from here, whatever this thing, this just keep in mind the naming convention. Whatever thing you will provide here, you need to provide the same here. And now I can pass Alex for this, and for this, I can pass, let's say Mark. Now, what do you guys say? What will be there? What will be there in our web application? I want it from you guys. What will be there in our application? Correct. You're correct, Uspal. We will have two headers having two different names. For the first one, we'll have Alex, and for the second one, I have Mark. Getting my point? For the first one, I have Alex, and for the second one, I have Mark. Okay, getting my point? I'll give in another example. Header will be a single component only. It will be not used multiple times in a single application. So I'll just remove it and just let's make another component. Let's make let's make a component called movies. Okay, let's see. Let's make a component called movies. And for your information, let's make a movie application. Okay, movie fetching application. This will be a small project first. We will be understanding all the concepts using this project. So we have now made header file, header thing. You can see welcome to React Bootcamp. Or I will say I will change the name. I will change the name. Welcome to movies joy. Okay, where we can fetch latest movies and see what are trending and all, and we can search movies also. Okay, so for now, welcome to Movies Joy, Alex. Okay, and now let's make another component called, let's say, movie. Like, okay, now you guys only suggest me how a movie component would be. See, movie component will have different data. Like it will be having a image, it will be having a name, and it will be having all those things different for different movies, right? So you guys tell me how it will be, how we can show. Do you want to show it as a tile or do you want to show it as a car? How you guys want it? How you guys want it? Do you guys want it in a car or a tile format? Okay. Snail said one card and will have images and description. Card. Okay. Okay. One more time, repeat. I'm saying let's make a movie app which will search movies, which will suggest us movies. Okay. So for that movies application, we want to show our movies, right? We want to show our movies in our application. So in what format do you guys want that movies to be shown? Do you want it to be shown in a tile format? What I mean by tile format is, do you want that movies to be in this format, like a tile, where the movie name will be there, movie name, and then will be a photo maybe, or in a where is my shapes, or in a card format, where there will the first movie, will there be first movie photo, sorry, and then we will have movie name, might be rating. Which one is good for you? Card. Okay. Okay, then we will move forward with making a movie card. Okay. So let's make a component. Let's make a component name movie. We'll make it movie card.js. Okay. Okay, guys. One more thing. In production level applications, there are some conventions which we follow. So whenever we make any component, we name it in camel case, in capital case first. The first letter of the component will be capital. Okay. These kind of naming conventions should be followed. It is not mandatory, but it is recommended. Okay. It is not mandatory, but it is recommended that your component name starts with a capital letter. Yep. So we have our movie card. Again, we will go for our snippet that is RAFC, React Arrow Function Component Export. And we have our component ready. Okay. So let's first call it here, or I will say implement here, movie card. Let's just see what is present out. Okay, we can see our movie card out here, right? Now we'll design a movie card. So we have our div. And for this movie card also, I'll make a CSS file that will be movie.css, and I will import it to movie.css. Cool. So our card will have class name, let's say card, will have cars, Now inside our card, what all things will be there? There will be a movie, there will be an image of movie, there will be the name of movie, and there will be ratings, right? Third, we will be having rating. So let's go and make our component, which will be having an image. First, we will be having an image tag. So for image, I'm wrapping it in a div in movie image. Okay. My snippet is not working. So div, we will be have a class name called movie img, and inside this, we will have an img tag. After that, let's take an h4 for our movie name. And that will be our movie name. And next, let's take a p tag saying our ratings. For the timing, ratings is 5. Okay, let's say HTML star. You can see, you can display this. Okay, now for using this star symbol, I will be using this HTML code. You can go to Google and search for HTML codes for different symbol. So for this, I will be using this. So now we can see image is not present here, but our movie name is here and rating is here. Okay. So let's give it some CSS now. We have our card. So for card, we give it a background. Let's go with white smoke. Is it visible? It is not visible, right? So we go for the yeah. Okay. So see, our card is entire of it. We'll go with a width. We'll set a width, specific width for it. Let's say 100 pixels. How will it look? Okay, it is looking very, very, very small. Let's move with 200 pixels. Okay, this width is good. I guess this width is going good. And we'll give a specific height to it also. We'll not go for height inherit, otherwise it will go to the entire page. For height also, I will give 400 pixels. Let's see how it looks. Okay, it looks very, very, very weird. 300 pixels. Okay, I guess this is looking a good bit better. And for next, we'll center all these. We'll go for display text, flex direction column, justify content center, and we will say align items center. So our stuff are now being centered. Now let's add an image to our movie card. Okay. So for this, I'll go to Google now again and just suggest me a movie, guys. Fast, fast. Any movie. Sir, error को कैसे solve करें? How to send array and objects from props. Okay. First, okay, how to send array and objects. Avengers. I will just tell you how you can say send arrays and objects. Mhm. Avengers. Okay, Kalki is a new movie. So let's see. Let's say Kalki. bulky poster will be there. This bulky poster. Uh, which one? This one. Let's open this thing in a new tab. Or it is not. Hmm. So I have this image. I'll copy this image link. I'll go to my image tab. I go to my SRC and paste it. Let's move it to another window. Okay. Some give it. Why it is not being is not my image. Copyright issue. Okay. Can we use this image? No. Which image then we can use? Okay, I guess this should work. Oh, so this is working. Okay, this is working, but you can see this is not good as it is, as like. So we will again move to CSS. In our CSS, what we have, it is movie.img. We have our movie.img. In that movie.img, we have our img tag, and we will give some width to it. We'll give it to 180 pixels and height of 280 pixels. Okay, it is looking very, very bad. Okay, you guys can help me out in here. What should I do? For the now being, I have given it object with contain. It will be a homework for you guys. Like, I want you guys to make it look good. So due to time constraints, I'm not focusing much on CSS right now, but somehow I've managed it. Hmm, it will not work. Object with cover will work. Okay. Okay. Looking a little better than before, but it's still not doing the job. Let's go for contain right now. and something is not good. Oh, but I guess we have made, sorry, somehow, to some extent, we have made a card component, right? To some extent, we had made a card component. And if I go and in an application, if I replicate it, I can see it in multiple times, right? It is not looking good. Let's go again and just wrap it in our main application. Now we will wrap it in another div. We'll wrap those in another div. We'll save it. We'll give it a class name. What shall we give? Movie container, right? I will give you an homework regarding this only. Okay, right now I'm doing it like this, but you guys have to optimize it. You guys have to tell me how you can optimize this code much in a much better way. We have a movie container. Now we'll just simply go for display flex. Yeah. And justify content, maybe space around will work. Okay. And with this, I'll also bring some top padding that will be of 20 pixels of front and zero. I don't want 1%. Okay. So I guess somehow look to some extent our application looking little bit pretty than before. Bootstrap is better because we can make mobile first sites. Okay, on it, and yeah, it's a system. Bootstrap, see, we can use Bootstrap, but to I guess not lot of you will be knowing Bootstrap, and I don't want to implement an extra CSS library to this React course since it is purely a React course. So using Bootstrap will not be that good. Okay. So now for you guys, this will be, I'm giving an assignment. I want you guys to, first of all, make it look a bit good. Okay. I will deploy this thing, or I will provide the code in the GitHub for you guys. Okay. Let's just do it first. Yeah. And I want you guys to make it look better. And I also want you guys then that how you can incorporate this piece of code, this div.movie container in a better way. Okay. Right now, in the first, and I said you that app component will incorporate all other components which we'll be using. But if we go for this approach, it will be very messy, right? Again, we are doing the same thing, like making components are here only. So I want you guys to optimize it in a better way. Okay, how we can optimize it in a better way, how we can reduce the piece of code here to some other stuff. Okay, think of it. If I will give you a hint, then today's lecture is the hint only component. So I want you guys to optimize this thing a little bit. I don't want this thing to be present in app application, in app component. Okay, so this will be your assignment for next session. I want the answer from you guys only, how you can optimize it. And in the next session, we will beautify this a little bit more and we'll move forward. And as for your question, we can pass objects also in properties. We can pass arrays also in this property, in this props. Okay, not a string. We can pass numbers also here. If I go something, say age, I will go for age 15. Age will be passed in this format, and I can access this here in as parameters.age. If I will say, if I will go and say, hello, Alex, your age is, so we can again say parameters dot age. So you can see we can access age also here. Okay. Similarly, if you want to pass any object to it, then we can make an object. For example, if I have an object called user, and in user I have name Alex. And again, guys, for React, you must be knowing the basic concepts of JavaScript. What is object? What is JSON? Okay. What is the function? So all these things you will be knowing. And the similar way, I will pass age. Let's say age 22. And instead of passing name and age individually, I will pass user as, as user. Okay. And now in the header, now we have user, not parameters. Okay. So what will come here? You guys tell me what will come here. You guys tell me. Now we have not passed name or age. We have passed an object here. So according to you, what will come here? Correct. Beauty is ordered. Yes, it will be user dot age. Yes, Ujjwal, we can directly pass users also, not writing user and equal to user. For the sake of understanding, we are using the standard conventions. Parameters dot users, and we can pass their name. And for this, we can pass parameters dot user dot age. And see, again we have Alex and the number out here. So it's not that you can only pass string. You can pass objects also. You can pass array also. You can pass numbers also. Whatever you want. Okay. So for the next session, you guys have to think of a way how this can be beautified. Like I'm not liking this kind of structure in app component. So in the next session, I will be asking from you guys like what approach you guys have been opting for to beautify this piece of code. How you can beautify it. Okay. And we'll move forward with states, handling state, what are states in React. And we will also be learning about lifecycle methods in a React. Will that be good? Okay. So before wrapping up this session, I will just make sure to I will just upload this thing on GitHub. It's like React Bootcamp. We have Git in it. Okay. CBD React. That's it. I guess we have this status. Okay. How many of you have been introduced, like how many of you know Git? So we can make dynamic props. The dynamic props. Yes, you can make dynamic props. Attendance link be in the description. Please go through it. So I was asking how many of you are familiar with Git? Yeah, components, and I guess I have made one Git repository for you guys. Let me just open my GitHub. React Bootcamp was there. Yes, I will just go paste this. Now authorization. So now the code is here. I'm sharing the code with you guys. Okay, and in the next session, two tasks are there. Tasks are there. Like first one is to where was Hmm. the first one is to beautify this card a little bit. Okay, and the next one is think of a way of how we can beautify this thing. Okay, see, when you will take the code from GitHub, you have to install node modules manually. Node modules are not included in it. And to install node modules, I have I've told you a command that to install node modules, whatever packages are there present in your package.json, those will get installed on the command called npm I or npm install. Okay, clone the repository, go for it and type npm I or npm install. Your node modules will get installed. And after that, you can run your application. Okay, will you guys do it? I expecting you guys will do this and expecting that you guys will do the assignment that is beautifying this thing here, this piece of code, and also beautifying this card. Okay. Yes. With that note, let's wrap up our sessions and see you in the next session.